مشاهدينا أهلا بكم إلى هذا اللقاء الخاص الذي نستضيف فيه الرئيسة التنفيذية لمنظمة وورلد سنترال كيتشن إيرين. سيدة إيرين، أهلا بك معنا على شاشة سكاي نيوز عربية. شكرا لتلبية هذه الدعوة على هذا اللقاء. أنتم منظمة وورلد سنترال كيتشن قمتم بتحضير وجمع وتحميل المساعدات وإطلاق السفينة Open Arms بالمساعدات الإنسانية الإغاثية، والتي انطلقت هذه السفينة من قبرص إلى ميناء غزة ضمن إطار أول سفينة في الممر البحري لإيصال المساعدات. حدثينا أكثر عن الفكرة، كيف بدأت؟
Yeah, I'm so proud of the team. I'm proud of our partnership with the UAE. We've been thinking about and dreaming about this ship departing and delivering much needed aid to Gaza for many months now. The first ship, Open Arms ship, departed from Spain in early to middle of February, actually. So, you know, the preparation, the planning, the dreaming has been happening for weeks and months. And we at World Central Kitchen have been active in Gaza for many months now, since October. And we've been very, very focused on getting more food, getting more meals, getting more aid into Gaza, whether that be by land, by air, or by sea. And we've participated in all, and we keep calling and asking for greater access into Gaza. But the fact that this is now that World Central Kitchen has the first ship currently en route to Gaza right now is just hopefully the beginning of so much more critical, much needed aid actually arriving in Gaza and helping people. The journey has been going very well, and very soon they'll arrive in Gaza. Now, you're right, there is no port. So what World Central Kitchen has been doing, our team in Gaza has been working with the local community, contractors, to build a jetty. We're constructing this temporary jetty to serve as just a starting point. I know there's other conversations, there's other governments that are talking about building a port, and we support that. That's great. Gaza needs more. But for us right now, the focus is on urgency, speed. The situation's very dire in Gaza. I think many of us have seen the reports, have seen the starvation that's happening in women, children. So for us at World Central Kitchen, we're focused on getting as much aid, as much food, as urgently as possible. And with the maritime corridor in particular, U.S., where our focus is on northern Gaza. We have been feeding in Rafah. We have a signature kitchen, if you will, that is producing tens of thousands of meals every single day. But getting aid to northern Gaza has been very, very complicated. Now, we have participated in land convoys, and we have been distributing some meals in northern Gaza, but we know that we can do so much more, and this maritime corridor is incredibly key to getting more aid to the north.
أنتم تقومون ببناء هذا الرصيف المؤقت الآن، ولكن هناك أيضا دور أمريكي. ستقوم الولايات المتحدة ببناء رصيف بحري مؤقت على سواحل قطاع غزة، وبالتالي هل هذا الرصيف الأمريكي سيكون بديل أم تكملة لما تقومون به أنتم الآن؟
It's an addition to. We hope that, again, more governments, more NGOs, that there are more initiatives that are focused on getting aid into Gaza. So we're very supportive of this temporary jetty, of our temporary jetty, and of the U.S. government's port that they are bringing in. It's all very needed, and right now it's in addition to the work that World Central Kitchen is doing. You know, the U.S. port won't be completed for some time. So again, this is where World Central Kitchen's urgency is really key.
وماذا بعد ذلك؟ كيف سيتم نقل هذه المساعدات برا؟ وكيف سيتم إيصال هذه المساعدات إلى المحتاجين؟
Absolutely. So World Central Kitchen, we are an organization founded by Chef Jose Andres. We are an organization that always has food and chefs at the heart of everything that we do. But preparing the food isn't isn't all we do. We're so much more than that. We are a distribution, we are a logistics corporation company as well. We take care of everything from preparing the food to distributing the food, even if it means going door to door or hand to hand to distribute it. And so for us, you know, our work in Gaza has been taking place since October. And so we have a really strong team. We have a really strong distribution network. We have vehicles. We have the mechanisms internally. Again, we have the volunteers, the beautiful support of the community to make the distribution happen in a very intentional way, and in a way where we hope that we can get the aid to the families, to the children that need it the most.
أنتم تعملون في قطاع غزة على الأرض منذ شهر أكتوبر. كيف تابعتم الوضع الإنساني فعلياً على أرض الواقع في قطاع غزة؟
You know, it's becoming more and more dire every single day. I was talking to Sam Block, who's our director of emergency response. When he first arrived in Gaza, he saw in the Rafah, he saw families, people cutting down trees when he first arrived. After about 40 days, when he was leaving, and now he's back in Gaza, after about 40 days, there were no more trees. And in fact, what he saw was that people were digging up roots of the trees, desperate to find wood to burn, to keep themselves warm, wood to burn to heat their tea, to cook their food. And I think that really speaks to the scarcity of any and every resource in Gaza right now. You know, it's been a challenge for World Central Kitchen. This is one of the most politically complex responses that we've ever been a part of, but also the most resource scarce response that we've ever been a part of. And so we've even had to kind of re-engineer our approach and rethink how we are feeding people. And so without the availability of fuel, looking around at the community, being very aware that people are finding any kind of wood, anything that they can to burn, which in fact might have chemicals in it, usually does have chemicals in it, and it's dirty cooking, right? It's not healthy. So not only is it a hunger issue, it's now a health issue. And so our team in Cairo, which is where we're procuring food and dispatching, which we've dispatched 1,400 trucks from Cairo across the Rafah crossing, our team in Cairo found a company that is making wooden pellets. And it's clean cooking, and so we have been working very closely with them, and we've dispatched those wooden pellets to fuel that.
كم شخص سيستفيد وسيحصل على المساعدات من خلال هذا الممر البحري؟
In the initial beginning days, hundreds of thousands. As we scale up and as we have other ships and larger vessels, we will be able to feed millions of people through these shipments.
وهذا ما كان ليحدث على أرض الواقع لولا الجهود الدبلوماسية. وهنا تابعنا كيف خصت بالذكر رئيسة المفوضية الأوروبية أورسولا فون دير لاين تحديدا رئيس دولة الإمارات والرئيس القبرصي لالتزامهما. لو تحدثينا أكثر عن هذه الجهود الدبلوماسية وتحديدا جهود دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة.
Sure. World Central Kitchen has been working very closely with UAE, so I can speak to that partnership. And we, of course, appreciate everything the Cyprus government has been supporting us with at Larnaca Port. But our partnership with the UAE has really made this work possible, has made this first ship possible. We have been talking, very frequently, but the partnership really was born quite quickly. We have very similar vision, very similar approach to feeding people. We have this dream of no more suffering because of food in Gaza. And so we beautifully came together with this shared vision, same urgency. And World Central Kitchen, we have been doing response work in disasters and crises for many years, and then working with the UAE, who has similar operational urgency, and all of this work is very much collaborative. It is a blend of not only heart, passion, urgency, but logistics. World Central Kitchen, you saw our boat leave. It is headed to Gaza now. So we have access to logistical means and to vessels, and so does UAE. And so it's been this beautiful collaboration of let's load 100 tons of World Central Kitchen food, and let's load 200 tons of UAE food, and UAE can, has this vessel in this country, and World Central Kitchen has another vessel in this other country.
وبالتالي دور دولة الإمارات لم يقتصر فقط على التمويل.
No. It's never been about the funding. It's there is funding, and World Central Kitchen is a nonprofit organization, so we do need funding, and we are actively fundraising, especially during the sacred month of Ramadan. But it's never been a partnership of funding. It's been a partnership of action, and it's been a partnership of ending suffering through food.
سفينة Open Arms هي أول سفينة تنطلق ضمن إطار هذا الممر البحري لإيصال المساعدات إلى قطاع غزة. هل بدأتم بالعمل على ربما سفينة أو سفن أخرى ومتى ستنطلق؟
We are. There was a small team that was at Larnaca port to see off this first vessel, but I have to tell you the majority of the team was already focused and preparing and loading the second vessel that is preparing to go to Gaza in the coming days. And so this isn't an operation that is resting on the laurels of one ship. It's a small ship when you think about it in this vast sea, and the huge amount of hope, the huge amount of love, humanity that vessel is carrying. But we need more. And so my vision, our dream at World Central Kitchen is to have a maritime highway of vessels carrying hundreds of tons, eventually thousands of tons of food that can truly alleviate the suffering, the desperation. We have seen what has happened in other convoys, other aid distribution, where there are groups of people that are desperate for aid. It does create a safety concern. It does create a security concern. We know at World Central Kitchen, if we had a continuous flow of aid, if we could end the desperation and the suffering, we would not see those mobs. We wouldn't.
ما هو أبرز تحدي أو ربما تحديات تواجهونها اليوم أو قد تواجهونها في المستقبل ضمن إطار هذه المهمة؟
Sure, I think right now our teams are working pretty fiercely to complete the port, the jetty, and just getting the infrastructure created to allow for massive amounts of aid. That's been the biggest challenge. Working, in Gaza that doesn't have a proper port for this amount of aid, and working so feverishly on such a short amount of time. I know we're going to do it. I know we are. We're going to have lots of lessons learned, and that's okay. This first run, it may not run as smoothly as we want, and it may not be perfect. But we at World Central Kitchen, we accept that, and we know that, because we believe the greatest failure is the failure to even try. We have to do something. And so consider this the start of our learning lessons, of figuring out how to get better every day through this jetty, through this port.
شكرا لك على هذه المقابلة. الرئيسة التنفيذية لمنظمة World Central Kitchen إيرين.